Big tonight, Caribbean leaders have been meeting in the Saudi Arabian capital, with leaders there in the first summit between Saudi Arabia and CARICOM nations. The Riyadh Caribbean Summit is the latest alliance that Saudi Arabia has built with countries around the world to diversify its sources of income. Last week, Saudi Arabia hosted the Saudi African Summit, as well as an emergency Arab-Islamic summit on Gaza. The Caribbean leaders spoke about business and investments during Thursday's summit. The summit decided to promote trade and investment relations between Saudi Arabia and CARICOM by enhancing public-private partnership and business-to-business relations between both regions. The leaders also decided to cooperate in the development of sustainable and circular agriculture and in the promotion of sustainable food production, sustainable use and management of water resources, and promote trade and investment opportunities in food and agri-based industries. The summit was co-chaired by Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman and Dominican Prime Minister and CARICOM Chairman Roosevelt Skerritt. There was also agreement to promote the cultural and creative industries of CARICOM and Saudi Arabia through cultural festivals, art exhibitions, film festivals, workshops, book fairs, and other events. Kenya's High Court on Thursday extended orders blocking the deployment of police officers to Haiti, even as Parliament approved a government request to send 1,000 officers to the Caribbean nation to help deal with gang violence. High Court Judge Chacha Mwita said he would issue a ruling on January 26, effectively delaying the sending of security officers to Haiti, where they are slated to lead a multinational force backed by the UN Security Council. The planned deployment was first blocked by the High Court in Nairobi in October. The court decision came hours after Kenya's parliament passed a motion allowing the deployment of the security officers. But the government was immediately criticized for disobeying the court orders first issued in October that barred the deployment. After a dramatic week in the politics of the Cayman Islands, there is a new premier and a new government in place. A hodgepodge of MPs, including a number of them from the last government that finally collapsed this week. For the second time in her career, Juliana O'Connor Connolly has stepped in as premier amidst a deep political crisis. She previously became leader of the British territory in 2012 at the helm of a minority government, following the ousting then of McKeever Bush as premier after he was charged with corruption in relation to credit card expenses. The now former Premier Wayne Panton, who agreed to step down after his leadership took a beating in a vote of no confidence in Parliament Tuesday, is set to become Speaker of the House of Assembly. Leader of the Progressives, Roy McTaggart, who brought the motion in Parliament on Monday, called O'Connor Connolly a capable person. McTaggart, who is not part of the new government, said the most urgent task of the new administration will be to get a budget in place for the next year. O'Connor Connolly's deputy in the new administration will be Andre E. Banks. Both of them, who had joined the now former ruling coalition, abstained in Tuesday's vote, opting not to support the government. Dwayne Seymour and McKeever Bush, defectors from Panton's government, are part of the 11 MPs making up the new government. Chris Saunders, who had also resigned from the previous government, remains as an independent on the opposition bench. O'Connor Connolly ran in the 2021 general election as a member of McTaggart's Progressives. She has been associated with at least 4 different political parties there in just over a decade and has crossed the floor on a few occasions to prop up administrations. St Lucia's Prime Minister Philip Pearce says there is no truth to reports that his government is seeking a constitutional amendment to bar people born out of the country from participating in general elections. He says it's a lie being spread by the opposition, whose leader was born in Martinique.
The opposition, as usual, are spreading the red herring. The opposition is desperate. The opposition has lost its way. And I want to assure the political solution that there has never been any discussion about changing the constitution as far as we are concerned.
The report has been given fresh legs in recent days by comments made by government MP Richard Frederick and a jab taken by Grenadian Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell at a ruling party event on the weekend at which he was a guest. Public Relations Officer of the Opposition United Workers' Party, Leonard Montu, said the utterances of Frederick are a clear indication of the thinking of the government.
So when Richard Frederick publicly makes comments about altering our constitution, we know that he's speaking for the Prime Minister as an official in the Prime Minister's office, and that it is an intention of the St Lucia Labour Party to make good on those sentiments that have been expressed.
Prime Minister Pear has poured cold water on the opposition's line.
Constitutions are not changed like that. So I think it is disrespect to the people of St Lucia for the opposition to be peddling these untruths.
Chasney spent this week explaining why his parents opted to give birth to him in neighboring Martinique because of concerns about an inherent medical condition that has plagued his family. Chasney also spent many years in Canada as a student and once carried U.S. citizenship.
When I decided to enter the fray of politics, even though it wasn't elected and it was as a senator, I was a U.S. citizen. And I had applied to become a U.S. citizen. And I gave up that citizenship to be in compliance with the Constitution of St. Lucia.
Former St. Lucia Prime Minister said the ruling party has spent years trying to hound him out of the local politics there. This is Primetime Caribbean. We'll be back with more.